So the Seattle Seahawks have added Leonard Williams. This is a trade that should send shockwaves to the NFC West. This is a sandwich that sent shockwaves today through lunchtime, by the way. Lunch with Lombardi, Reyes Deli, San Francisco, little pastrami sandwich. They call it the Panda. I think after Pablo Sandoval, because they had the Buster Posey too on the menu on that Dutch Crunch bread. So check it out, Reyes Deli. Also check this out though on Athletic. The link is up on the description. The Seahawks have traded for Leonard Williams. That means that the 49ers, who are now in second place in the NFC West, Seattle smelling blood. Seattle passed them yesterday in the standings. Now, about 24 hours before the deadline, they pick up a Pro Bowl defensive end who could also play some tackle in Pete Carroll's 4-3. Will the 49ers engage in an arms race with the Seattle Seahawks now that Seattle has fired a salvo? They picked up Frank Clark a couple days ago, but that doesn't move the needle. He's well past his prime. My question is, will the 49ers do something? And they've reportedly been interested in improving the edge rusher position and in improving the cornerback position. That's according to our Diana Rossini at The Athletic. If I had to give you a name, I would say that Montez Sweat is a good candidate for the 49ers, the Washington defensive end. Over the past 4 years, Montez Sweat has graded out as a top 10 edge rusher against the run. And that's what the 49ers badly need. I don't think they need another pass rusher per se. They need a run stopper. They generated a ton of pressure yesterday against Cincinnati, but they're not stopping the run, and it's unacceptable. This was a top 2 run defense in 2021 and 2022, and it's down at like number 25 right now. And it's because they're not setting edges and they're getting washed out in the middle. The interior, I don't think it's as big of a deal as the lack of edge setting that's happening right now, but they could still use a little bit more juice on the interior. So it wouldn't shock me if they found a run stuffer up the middle. But I think the edge position is where you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can bookend Nick Bosa with somebody who can pass rush, and Montez Sweat has a season with 10 sacks under his belt. He'll average 8 to 10 sacks a year. But most importantly, at 260 plus pounds, Montez Sweat can set a good edge. It would build a nice bridge between whatever the 49ers have now and Randy Gregory. Right? Randy Gregory's a good player, but he's 242 pounds. He's more of a speed rusher, passing situation type of player. I think that he plays tough. He plays physical for his size. But if you can get a true 260 to 270 pounder who can, stay on the field on every single down, passing and running downs, give you a full assortment of snaps, because Nick Bosa had to play 100% of the snaps yesterday because I just don't think the 49ers believe in their depth's edge-setting ability. Well, that would be huge for the 49ers. That's why I look at Montez Sweat as a good potential candidate for the 49ers to grab at that edge rusher position. Then at cornerback, because we know that this team is short on coverage players. It's patently obvious at this point. Isaiah Oliver has been giving up way too much in coverage. He's been a lot better in run support near the line of scrimmage, but coverage-wise, that's the aspect of the game that we need to be focusing on right now, because Joe Burrow completed 19 straight passes yesterday. That can't happen in the NFL. And it wasn't a one-off thing. The week before, Kirk Cousins was on fire against the 49ers. 661 passing yards against this defense in just 2 weeks. Not good enough is the refrain that I'll keep on repeating. And I think that we can go beyond that and just say that the pass defense has gotten eviscerated over the past 2 weeks. So Jaylon Johnson's a cornerback out of Central High School in Fresno who is having a career year for the Chicago Bears. Pick 6 earlier this year. I think a 37.3 passer rating into his coverage. Could be a good player for the 49ers to add and allow Diomede Lenore to move inside. Not sure what you do with Isaiah Oliver. Maybe use him as a glorified linebacker in some situations, because that's what he's been best at. But the one-on-one coverage for Oliver hasn't been good. And he had a chance to grab that interception in the zone coverage. Second down play on that first down drive from Cincinnati yesterday, but he couldn't hang on to it. So then you could just, in general, you could never have enough good coverage guys. You can never have enough good defensive ends. With Seattle picking up Leonard Williams, I'm wondering if the 49ers O-line need becomes more pronounced. Obviously, Trent Williams must return for this team, and he will, coming off the ankle injury. That's priority number one. The offensive line, especially in run blocking, looked a whole lot better with Trent than without him. The downturn happened just as Trent got hurt against the Cleveland Browns. So the problem is that offensive linemen are not in abundance, especially available on the trade market. Every single team seems to have a shortage of offensive linemen. It's just tough right now on that market. So I'm not sure if the 49ers can realistically improve their interior line. Maybe Ezra Cleveland from the Minnesota Vikings, since they actually may have a little bit of surplus of interior linemen there with Dalton Reisner starting to play against the 49ers and playing well. And obviously Minnesota has lost Kirk Cousins for the season, so they might be in a little bit more of a sell mode. So I wouldn't be shocked, though, right? The reported positions of interest are edge setter and cornerback. But given the struggles of the 49ers offensive line to run block with Trent Williams out, given the fact that this is my own theory, but I think the 49ers subscribe to it too, you need 7 quality bodies up front to make it through a 20-game NFL season, especially with a 35-year-old star left tackle and Trent Williams, who has been known to get banged up from time to time. It wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers made an aggressive move along the offensive line. Then again, I don't know if when is possible. I don't like speculating, but since we're less than 24 hours away from the trade deadline, I could give you a couple names, and I could definitely list the positions where the 49ers, from a personnel perspective, are a little bit lacking right now. The rest of it, that's up to John Lynch if he wants to get embroiled in that arms race with Seattle. But I will tell you that the Seattle Seahawks are out for blood right now. And the 49ers play the Seahawks twice. First matchup coming up in less than a month. Thanksgiving night, then the game against Philadelphia. That's on the road. So they got to travel cross country. Then they have to come back to San Francisco to face the Seattle Seahawks a second time. Seattle's going to bring the pass rush. They have Leonard Williams now. They lost Uchenna Nwosu for the season a couple weeks ago. That's why they've been hunting for defensive ends. Obviously, we saw them pick up Frank Clark, as I just mentioned, but that doesn't move the needle. Leonard Williams moves the needle. Again, Lunch with Lombardi. Those of you just joining, Reyes Deli in the Mission. This is a place that you've got to come and get some sandwiches. I know that I share a lot of these San Francisco recommendations with you. The Dutch Crunch Bread, Bay Area specialty. That's the Panda. Pastrami, garlic aioli. You could have some peppers on it. I'm not the biggest pepper guy. I think there are a couple on there, though. Avocado, cheese, good stuff. Reyes Deli in the Mission. So I got myself a good sandwich. We'll see if the 49ers decide to be active on the trade market here moving forward, because it's getting real. Nothing's been determined yet as far as the NFC West Championship, the Super Bowl contention, all that kind of stuff. Teams are loading up. Teams are jockeying for position. 49ers on this losing streak. I think that's underscored some of the positions of need for this football team. And at the same time, it might have put John Lynch into a position of poorer leverage on the trade market. He might have to pay a little bit more if the 49ers think that they want to grab another player. And it's not a guarantee that they will. It's not a guarantee that they'll deem any addition worth it. They do believe that they have a lot of the right pieces in their building. And I think for the most part, they are correct. But sometimes just an energy infusion from a trade is something that a team needs to play better complementary football. It was certainly the case last year when they picked up Christian McCaffrey. And the 49ers have been aggressive from year to year. The only year in which they haven't executed a pre-deadline trade was 2018. This year, they've already done one for Randy Gregory, who's been a contributor. And now the question is, will they look for more? Montez Sweat, Jaylon Johnson, maybe an O-line need, maybe a player at one of the two positions I mentioned there earlier that I didn't list. We'll see. But we know that the Seahawks are active, and we'll find out if the 49ers will be as well.